5 signs it's time for you to get up and walk out of a relationship. Number 1, gaslighting. If they accuse you of doing something that you haven't done, and then they try to make you seem like you're crazy, and especially if it's cheating or something nefarious, more likely than not, the gaslighting that they are doing, they're actually doing themselves. So that's something to keep in mind, okay? Number 2, sudden change of emotion. And I don't mean like, hey, you just lost somebody. I mean like just totally change of emotion. You start asking, hey, what's up? Hey, what's going on? I'm concerned. They don't tell you, or they're kind of slow getting to that, and they're kind of drawing away. And you kind of say that, and if you address it and they back away further, you kind of know maybe it's time for me to give them space. It's time for me to hit the road. Okay, it's definitely something you should consider. Physical or mental abuse. My opinion, it takes a long story to get to that point, especially with women in the modern day context that we have. They can accuse you of anything and you're fucked. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with women. Do not put yourself in a situation where you're one-on-one and they can just accuse you and you can spend many years in prison for that. Please keep that in mind. You have to set clear and defined boundaries, which leads me to my 4th point is, if you're setting boundaries and they continually break them, and I'm not saying promise yourself or whatever, I'm saying set clear, legitimate boundaries for yourself. Hey, this is what I will accept, this is what I will not accept. Because if you start giving in, you start going, it's basically a death by 1,000 cuts at that point. And what I mean by boundaries is things that are non-negotiable to you. Things that you cannot accept, and that can be different for every person. There could be some people where, for example, I'll just give this as an example. Some people, they don't care if you're on your phone. You don't care if they're, out late at night. You just don't care. It doesn't matter to you. They're on the TV. But if that matters to you and it's something you can't get off of, then you clearly can't be with that person because it's going to be incompatible and it's going to be very, very toxic. Okay. And I would say, number 5, losing your self-worth. When you feel like you're at the bottom of the barrel, you're being emotionally drained at home, you can't get any, to the point to where you would almost rather do anything else than go home to your house or to your place of residence because you know that the girl's going to be there. That gets to that point, you probably should leave, and you're not going to leave because it's comfortable to you and it's normal to you. Trust me, I would know. I was in a relationship for 8 years before I got married, and that basically is what happened. I just kind of got normalized into it, and I went with it. And it's just because at a certain period, it's like, well, we've already been together this long, so why not just keep it going? When nothing was changing, nothing was improving, the gaslighting, pretty much everything that's in this list, I've experienced personally. So I definitely have to say that. And I would say that the last thing that you want is to lose a person of yourself and your self-worth, and that can come in many forms. For example, the first one would be they tried to isolate you from your family or friends, more especially if you're close to them or you're around them a lot. And I'm not saying that you don't necessarily have to be with them all the time. It's just like, hey, I'm going to be here with my family or my friends, and cool, and I always tell this to my wife, I want to miss you, so please go, go. I don't mind. It's healthy. I feel like it's healthy to have space between couples, and that's something you don't want to do. That's one way to control, manipulate you, and gaslight you, because no one else is exposed to you to a certain degree to where they can see what's going on. It's a form of control, okay? And that's something that you definitely want to pay attention to. That is an easy way to lose your self-worth, is the things that you used to do, you stop doing when you get into a relationship because they're controlling you. So please keep that in mind. If it gets to that point, you either have to set that boundary or you have to walk away. If you set the boundary, you're going to get a lot of backlash, and the tendency is to go back to what you were doing. That's the general tendency with any of these points, is you're going to try to fix it in some way. And instead of changing the behavior or walking away, you're more likely than not going to try to double down on the behavior, and I guarantee you it will not work. Because if it didn't work before, why would you double down? But that is the nature of humans. If it doesn't work, then we'll just double down and see if that works. And it never really works out. Okay? Number 5, in my opinion, would be that you can't trust them anymore. And this actually could be put as number 1. Any of these could be put in any order. If you don't trust them or anything they do anymore, it's not worth being with them. It's not. You can't hold a ball and chain and try to swim. It won't work. It just won't work. It definitely it will not work. If you don't trust them, you're going to put yourself through extra unnecessary stress in your life that you don't need. If you don't trust them anymore, you need to have that conversation. Hi, I just don't trust you no more, and that's it. That's it. Just cut it out, and just go about your business. There's no reason for you to stay, because that's when you start getting into, let me look at your phone, let me do this. You start like becoming some kind of FBI investigation, and you may see things that are not necessarily true that are there, and this could be from you, this could be from them. If you get to that point, you have to leave, because it's not a good thing for your mindset and theirs as well. Okay? And with that being said, there's a bonus here. Okay? If your friends and family are giving you feedback, telling you, hey, be careful, hey, this is not good for you, hey, I see a difference in you and it's not positive in your life, hey, and you're gaslighting yourself into believing that it's going to change, and you believe that it's going to be the way it's supposed to be, take consideration of those people in your life that mean the most to you, because more likely than not, they will be there after a relationship has expired, and you don't want to damage that, because when you come off that kind of down, sometimes you really need your friends the most, and if you cut them out of your life during this time, it's hard to regain that friendship back. You don't want to burn that bridge, and I would say listen to advice, listen to what they have to tell you. A lot of times they're trying to save you from yourself, from doubling down, from gaslighting yourself, from doing all these things to yourself. And with that being said, hopefully today's the day that I earn your subscription. Thank you guys for visiting the Fellow Gent. If you want to follow me daily, please follow my Instagram content, and y'all have a nice day.